We're here at the magical Circuit de Monaco for one of the most challenging qualifying sessions on the Formula One calendar. Who can add their name to the illustrious list of Monte Carlo pole sitters here today? Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction. And over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong. And that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
Be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Car repairs have set us back a little. So far, our fastest lap is a 1:13. We're third in the speed trap, 289.4 kilometers per hour. just put in the fastest lap. Good job. Fantastic. You've got pole.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. De Vries, Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid line-up for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So, unfortunately, we've picked up some grid penalties, and we'll be starting further back than you expect. As for how bad it is,
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about De Vries. They've had to change their gearbox. It's never a good start to a Grand Prix when, right off the bat, you have to contend with a grid penalty.
Well, at the end of the day, it's always better to take some pain now than parking it up halfway through the Grand Prix. Let's just hope they can put that new gearbox to good use and get the results they're looking for.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Albon, De Vries and Raikkonen, Perez, Ricciardo, Gasly and Lando Norris, Sainz, Magnussen, Roman Grosjean and Verstappen, Kvyat, Hülkenberg, Antonio Giovinazzi and Robert Kubica, Stroll and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs. start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch. Go now. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. You worked hard for that one. Congratulations.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Carlo would be my first choice for this race. He had excellent race stamina, giving him the opportunity to charge through the ranks.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they...
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. How are you feeling after that win? Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they? You were cutting your way through the field during the race. You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners? Great. Well, that's everything.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.
Looks like one of your rivals has also been invited to a historical event. This could be a good opportunity to play up your rivalry for the press and expand your reputation.